how should you study? So, like, if you're actually comfortable with the way you're studying, and you're getting good results from it, like you're performing well in your exams and you're actually comfortable with your way of studying, then I would recommend not implementing any of the recommendations or the techniques which I am going to be explaining, which I'm going to be telling you in this video. Okay, so let's get back to the video. Okay, so normally, what do the people say to you, like as teachers or parents? They say that you have to read the textbook of your prescribed syllabus, or and you have to learn your notes. You have to write notes from lectures or something. You have to watch lectures from this thing, that thing. You have to go to tuitions. You have to do the guide. You have to read the guide. You have to practice the numericals from this chapter, that chapter. You have to complete all of the exercises of the max textbook, and you would be wondering, okay, yeah, I'm actually interested in doing all of those things. Or even if you're not interested, you'd be feeling like, where do I even get the time for doing all of these things? The mistake here lies on the way of studying. Let's say that you're trying to study at a wrong time of your day. We're going to be discussing about different things, okay? We're just taking an example. Let's say that you're going to be studying at a wrong time during a day. Let's say that it's not a productive hour. You usually feel productive in the evenings, but you don't realize this fact. So therefore, you sit for studying in the afternoon and you feel extremely sleepy and tired, and you start to study something, or you practice a numerical from physics or mathematics or whatever. Obviously, you're not gonna get the feeling to study at all because you're tired and you're exhausted. You need rest. But there's no one to tell you that you are actually tired. You feel like I'm supposed to be studying at this time, but I just can't study. So you eventually procrastinate, and you even procrastinate the whole of the time in the evening when you are especially productive. All of the mistake lies basically in the way you study. So if you just implement these small changes, which I'm going to be telling you in this video, your whole studying life would be benefited positively. Okay, so how should you study? How can you manage the time for doing all of these things? So I'm going to be telling you a set of few changes which you can implement in your study routine, which would actually change the way of studying for you entirely. Okay. Okay. So the first technique which you should use to study is by using the Pomodoro technique. So what is the Pomodoro technique? Okay, so this is how the Pomodoro technique basically works. So this technique is basically a time management tool, as you can see here. And here in this technique, what you're going to be doing is that you're going to be dividing your time. Let's say that this is your whole of time. You're going to be dividing it into 30 minutes and 5 minutes, 30 minutes and 5 minutes, 30 minutes and 5 minutes alternatively. Alternatively means that you're going to be doing something for a certain period of time, and you're going to be doing something else for a certain period of time. And you repeat the whole set of events over and over again. This is called alternatively. So you're going to be studying for 30 minutes, and then after that 30 minutes, you're going to get a small 5 minutes break in between. And then you're going to be again studying and then taking a small break, all of which you'll be doing alternatively. So that's how your time is basically divided when you use the Pomodoro technique. So how can you properly practice this technique? There's actually a website which you can actually use. It's called PomoFocus. You can actually just type it up in Google and then click on the website. You would be able to figure it out all by yourself. And you'd be wondering, what is the purpose of the small 5 minutes break? There's just no point also. It's like extremely small. See, when you're studying for the whole of 30 minutes, by the 29th minute or the 28th minute, you're going to be feeling drained out and tired and exhausted because you have studied with intense focus for the whole of 30 minutes, or like almost for the whole of 30 minutes. And what basically happens to your mind is that it feels tired and distracted and stuff by the end of the 30 minutes. So you use this 5 minutes break to actually refresh your mind, to give your body the need. Okay, your body needs something, and that is refreshment. So how can you refresh your body? You have to drink water in the break time, either stretch or wash your face, or you go outside. You can do either of these five things. But if like checking out a phone or doing any other activity would also serve for you as a purpose for refreshing your mind, you can also do that. You can also use your phone also, but make sure to keep this in mind that you can only do it for a small 5 minutes break. Okay, so what are the advantages of using this technique? This increases your productivity. As you can see, when you feel tired and distracted, you actually distract yourself with the 5 minutes break. And then after the 5 minutes break, you're going to feel refreshed, after which you're going to get back to studying for the whole of 30 minutes again, and the whole cycle of processes repeat itself over and over again. Okay, so it basically increases your productivity and your focus, and you'll be able to focus for long periods of time, and you won't even realize it. So my challenge for you is to actually try out this Pomodoro technique for once, and just let me know in the comments below if you have ever tried it out. Like after you have been focusing intensely for like 30 minutes, your mind starts to distract away, it starts to overthink about different things and stuff. So as to stop all of this draining and exhaustion, all of these things that which automatically come to you as you're like studying for longer periods of time, you get a small 5 minutes break. In that 5 minutes break, you'll be wondering like, what can I even do in the 5 minutes? What you can do is basically just drink the water. Just give your body what it needs. Your body needs water. Your body needs some freshness. So you just wash your face, or you like go and stretch or do something. Just lie in your bed for like 2 or 3 minutes or something without even opening phone. If opening phone is the source of relaxation for you, then you can even do that. Basically, just give yourself all of the break during the whole of 5 minutes, and then after that, you're gonna start studying. This time, you're gonna be extremely refreshed, and it's gonna basically boost up your productivity and your interest for studying too. Okay, so the second change is that now it's not a change; it's basically an advice. Before reading your textbook, you have to watch a lecture on that certain chapter. So let's say that there's a certain chapter on a textbook. Before you just open the textbook and you see a whole lot of text, I mean, a whole lot of sentences and numericals and all of those things in your textbook, what I would prefer is that you just get to know about the concept behind it. If you already know the concept behind whatever that chapter is about, then okay, you can start by reading the textbook. But if you have no idea about the concept of that certain chapter and you're just feeling like, okay, this is a huge barrier, like what do I even do? I can't even understand any of these sentences. Then what you have to do is just go to YouTube or any other online source and then just search up for the chapter or for the concept which you are looking for to clear. Let's say that I want to learn about chemical equations, and that's a chapter in my chemistry textbook. Then what I would do is that I'd go to YouTube and search lecture chemical equations, and then a lot of videos would come. After which I would click one and then sit throughout the whole lecture. Sometimes I would take down some notes too, and I would understand the concept. After that, for the next day or something, or in the next week, I would open my chemistry textbook and I would read the stuff. This time, I would be studying with extreme interest because I know the concepts beforehand, right? So this is the way in which you should be reading the textbook too. Don't just directly start with reading your textbook, but start with clearing the concept first. Okay, this is gonna increase or develop that interest within you for studying that certain topic. Now the third thing is, yeah, obviously after you watch the lecture, you have to read your textbook. Okay, so the third thing is you have to change your priority. Like, let's say that you got a homework or an assignment from school. What are you going to do after you come home from school? You're going to take rest, and then once it's time for you to do work, what you're going to do is that you're going to start with your assignments first. You're going to start with your homeworks first. Let's say that you got a math homework at school, and you come home from school, you're going to take a 1 hour break or something, you're going to eat something, and then when it's time for you to start studying, what you're going to do is that you take up your math homework and you start to work upon the problems. But the problem with this thing is that as you do the problems, your time actually is a scarce resource, right? It's a very scarce resource. So it actually gets depleted throughout the whole process. Let's say that you start studying by 8 p.m. and you just study till like 10 p.m. or something. So once you're starting with the math homework, you're gonna sit with it around 15 minutes. If it's a long one, you're gonna sit around it for 30 minutes or something. And if it's an assignment, you're gonna sit around it for almost an hour or 45 minutes. So this leads to you wasting a lot of your time. And this time is especially very important because the time when you start your work is the time when your productive hours begin. For example, if my productive hours are in the night, it would obviously be in the night that I would feel to start my work. And once my productive hours begin, once the period of time where my energy levels and my interest for studying goes up, if I'm utilizing that time to complete the notes and stuff, which doesn't engage my mind in any form of exercise or something like that, then what it's basically going to do is that eventually, as I do the homework and the assignments, my mind is the productive state of my mind is eventually going to disappear down. And if the time becomes 9 p.m. or something, my productive hour is done. 8 to 9 p.m. or 7 to 9 p.m. If I just sit and do my homeworks or my assignments for the whole time, I'm eventually gonna be like extremely distracted or something by the end of it, and I would not feel to study. I hope you were able to understand this difficult concept of the productive hours. So what I'm recommending you to do is that once your work time starts, that is, once your productive hours start, during that time, what you have to do is that you have to first prioritize studying. You have to prioritize studying. You study for 1 or 2 hours until you start to feel drained and lazy. And now you'll be wondering, like, okay, now I'm drained and lazy, bro. Like, I studied for 3 hours straight. It was so interesting. Such a session was so interesting. I watched a lecture. I made the notes and all of those things. But now I'm extremely drained. And tomorrow I have to submit this project, or tomorrow I have to submit this homework. So what do I do? The best thing is that we have music in this modern world. And once you're lazy and tired, what motivates you the most? Possibly a motivational video from YouTube. But what I'm asking you to do is that if you have to complete your notes, or if you have to complete your assignment or your project or your homework, whatever there is, now when you're tired and drained, you can sit down and you can start with the homework or the assignment by putting in some music in your room, whatever you like. And that music is automatically going to motivate you throughout the whole session of writing down the homework. So the third point is to change your priorities from doing your homework and your school assignments first to studying, which is you basically study first and then you do your school assignments and your homeworks. So that's it for the video. If you implement these three changes, you'll be seeing a significant rise in your progress in the upcoming exams and stuff. And the most important strategy or the technique which you can implement that will literally change your full studying experience is using the Pomodoro technique, which has helped me by a lot too. I recommend you to try this out for one day and you will see the change for yourself. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Bye bye. See you in another one.